Hey guys, Joshua here from Shooter Magazine, and welcome to another video tutorial. This tutorial was requested by a good friend of mine by the name of C3 Photography. He is based here out in New York City as a automotive photographer. He also does portraits and other forms of photography, but he specified himself with automotive. So you can check out his site. The link will be on the video description. Anything that I mentioned in this video that has to do with links will be down in the video description. So he wanted to put flares or find a better way of putting realistic flares onto one of his photographs. Right now he's working on a set, so he wants to actually add some character to his photos instead of just editing them and make them super nice, but he also wants to add some flares. So the only way that he can do that would be if he goes to Photoshop and he just gets a document and just place a flare by going into filter, render, and then add a flare. So I'm show you guys what I'm actually talking about here. So let's just say let's create a new layer. Let's paint this layer black. So let's go to our filter menu here, or panel if you have the panel, and then go to render and lens flare, and then you have four different ones to choose from, and you can change the brightness. So we're just going to change 35 and then just click OK. So as you can see, this is like really not so professional, and I don't really think a lot of professionals even use this feature on their photographs so much. But for those who know what optical flares is, by VideoCopilot, you would eventually end up downloading it to your After Effects. So that's exactly what we're going to use here. We're going to use VideoCopilot.net's optical flares creative lens flare studio. It's a plugin for your After Effects program. This plugin works with CS4, CS5, CS6. I'm not sure if it works with CS3, but there is a requirements list on here which should tell you which versions of After Effects it is compatible with. If it's compatible with what you got, then this tutorial is just meant for you guys. Alright, if it's not, then you're gonna have to just upgrade your suite. So let's get started. They actually have pricing here. They're pretty pricey, but if you have a friend that could just pass it on to you, that'll be fine. There's also a link around here for a trial. If I find a trial link, I'll just provide it down in the video description. So let's just get started. Once you download it, have it installed and everything, make sure you open up your After Effects. So once you open up your After Effects, we're going to create a new composition. The composition is going to be a HD composition, so whatever preset you use, the HD TV 1080p or the 720p, doesn't really matter, because what we're going to do is we're going to render an image out of After Effects, not a video. So we're going to click OK, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to layer and click solid, or we can just right click on our comp panel here, right click new and solid, or it would be Command Y or Control Y for Windows. So we'll keep the aspect ratio the same, and let's just change this to optical flare. Let's rename this to optical flare and keep your color black. You can also keep it gray if you want. And once we have that, we're gonna make sure we have it highlighted, and we're gonna go to Effect and VideoCopilot. This is the menu that you should have on your effects menu if you have installed a VideoCopilot plugin. So once you have this and it shows up, if it doesn't, then you're gonna have to fix it and find a way to get it there. So once you have that, just go to Effect, VideoCopilot, Optical Flares, and you can see there's a basic flare that it shows up here because you can maneuver it around any way you want. The different parts of the flare and stuff like that, because you want to keyframe it while you're doing video. But the point of this is just to render out an image. So we're gonna click option to change the flare. I really don't like that flare, too basic for me, and we're just gonna choose a flare of our choice. So power light looks really nice right here. You can also edit these flares the way you want it. You have parameters here, depending on like the texture, the color of the flares, any way that you want. You can customize your flares and save it. So this is what's so awesome about this program. I'm just going to use the colors that it has, but I'm just gonna take out some elements, so like the shimmer, because I don't really want those streaks. I can hide them or I can delete them, so I'm just gonna delete them off. So here's another shimmer, another shimmer, another shimmer. Take out the glint, take out the other glint, and another glint, and another glint. So we're gonna come with this more of a natural flare instead of a more drastic fantasized flare, so it's more natural and appealing to me. So I'm gonna keep the parameters the same, but like I said, you can edit them and mess around with them in the way that you want it and the way that you're gonna edit your photo. So I'm gonna click OK, and this is my document right here. I can actually move it around if I want, but I'm actually just gonna keep it right here if I want it that way, and then just move the iris a little bit right there. So I can mess around with it. Like, it's all based on your preference, so you don't have to go by what this video tells you. I'm just showing you guys how to render this into an image. Now once we've done and whatever you want of your liking, we're just gonna hit composition, and we're gonna go save frame as file. And once we do that, we're gonna get our render queue panel down here. We're gonna go to current settings or rendering settings, and we're gonna go to quality and hit best, click OK, and change our output module to Photoshop, PNG, or JPEG, whatever you choose, because either way we still gonna have to change the image mode or layer mode in Photoshop. So in this case, I'm just gonna use a Photoshop sequence file or a PNG file, so whatever you feel comfortable with. So I'm gonna use a PSD file format, click OK. Then on your output 2, we're gonna find a place where you want to put it. I'm just gonna put it on my desktop, and I'm just gonna name this optical flare. Okay, so let's save it. Once it's done, you didn't render it yet, so don't get so happy. We're just gotta click one more button, click render, and done. Since it's not a sequence, it's not frames that you're rendering or a video, it won't take long, it's just an image. So we're gonna minimize this, or you can quit After Effects. Now you see that the PSD file is here, and here's my image. So there's my flare, and here's my image. Now we're just gonna open up this image on Photoshop. This is a picture that I took of a V-dub back in WECFest this past summer at New Jersey Exposition Center. Really fun event. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pass this flare that we just created onto the document. So the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna go to File, Place, and then grab your PSD and then place it there. Click enter, place it there. I know you might be wondering that why is it taking up the whole space, why can I see the flare transparent? But you still have to change the layer mode, the image mode. So we're gonna go to lighten, or we can go to screen. Screen actually keeps your image that's behind this layer, whatever layer that's behind the optical flare layer, to its original contrast and original colors. But if you do lighten, as you can see, it does darken it out and stuff like that. So let's keep it like this because it does give it some character. But as you can see here, there's some edging of the file, as you can see, because it's an image that we rendered out at a certain ratio. So we can always get rid of that with the eraser tool. So let's just create a mask on top of it. So once we create a mask on top of it, we can also resize this. So let's just resize this to our liking and put it onto a light bulb of choice. So maybe I'll put it on this small one right here. Now your lens flare might be cut off, but like I said, you can manipulate, go back to After Effects and manipulate where you want the flare, and you can also resize the way you want it. So once we do that, we're just gonna hit enter, and now since we have a masked layer on top of the layer, so we're gonna use our eraser tool and make sure you have it at a certain size and your hardness down to nothing, so it'll be soft. And then we'll just do that, and bam, Voila, you just clean the edges. Whatever stays outside, but if it's in here, then you just do that. So now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna copy that layer, and then we're just gonna go to edit, transform, flip horizontal, and put it on the other light right there, and click enter, and bam, there you go. That is how you put realistic optical flares onto a image or a Photoshop file. You can use this just about anything. It does not have to be photographs only, just about anything to make things look better. There are other ways you can get other realistic flares, like side flares and stuff like that, to change the color tone. But like I said, it's all based on your preference and how you use the software, not about how the person teaches you how to use it. So I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. Make sure to subscribe for more tutorials just like this, and thanks for watching.